So why I believe that Bitcoin will hit around 2.2 million is based on a couple of factors. Okay. So as you all know, I invest and I've been investing into stocks and a whole bunch of different things. And when it comes to investing in stocks, that's pretty much my primary, primary way to invest, right? I did allocate some funds into crypto. I think I was doing about like 10% of my monthly income into crypto, or a little bit less than that. So I've always been investing into Bitcoin and, Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum, those couple of things, generally speaking, right? So, I have experience with investing into crypto, right? I'm not 100% where I want to be when it comes to it. And I've actually changed my allocation plan for 2025, but I will make a video discussing my 2025 allocation plan for my investment portfolio, right? Which is going to change from, pretty much about like 90% stock to, and the allocation may be flipped. Okay. Well, not flipped, but like it will be adjusted. So maybe something like, 60, 40 or something like that. Yeah. So basically, we're here to discuss the title of this video. Okay. So the reason I believe Bitcoin can hit $2.2 million in the next 10 years or so is based off of market capitalization. Okay. So if we look at the market capitalization of Bitcoin right now, it's about $2 trillion, right? So like that's pretty much the current cost, the estimation is about 2 trillion. And then people have been comparing Bitcoin to gold, right? We can look at the Fed chair, Jerome Powell, who recently said that the biggest, the US dollar is not, what Bitcoin is targeting, or basically the US dollar is not really the concern. The Bitcoin is more gold, right? So like, they're saying that Bitcoin and gold are more direct competitors than the US dollar. But me personally, I kind of feel like that's not 100% true, because if other countries start holding on to more Bitcoin, then it actually will be competing with the US dollar, right? But that's another discussion. Maybe I might add it into this video. But yeah, so Jerome Powell said that Bitcoin is, competing with gold, basically, right? So we go off of that. And of course, Bitcoin has been called digital gold for the longest because of its $21 million, the 21 million amount, of Bitcoin that will ever be created, right? So it gives it a finite amount, in which we don't necessarily know the finite amount of gold, but gold is extremely difficult to basically grab out or remove from the earth. So we don't really know the amount of gold, but we do understand that gold is a precious, commodity, right? And that's the same thing with Bitcoin. So based off of that, we look at the market capitalization of gold and where it's at right now. Okay. So gold's market capitalization is around $45 trillion, right? So if we divide 45 trillion by 2, I believe that's 22.5 or something like that, 22.5. So then that is where I'm getting my estimations from, is because if Bitcoin is a direct competitor with gold, then we're saying that, okay, that Bitcoin will eventually hit the market capitalization of gold, which is at 45 trillion, right? So then if we divide Bitcoin's current market capitalization, which is 2, by 45, we get 22.5, I believe. And then we have to multiply what we get from the division of that times the current price of one Bitcoin, which is about 100,000. So we multiply that by 22, which will be around $2 million. And that's it. So it's pretty simple in where we can estimate the cost or where Bitcoin would head to, but it is going to take it's going to take certain things to happen for that to happen, right? Because again, gold is the reserve of a lot of, the gold is basically the reserve of a lot of like banks and countries and things like that. So gold is, pretty much the number one reserve currency, aside from, I guess, the US dollar or whatever. But yeah, gold, right? So that's what a lot of these countries are holding as a reserve to kind of be liquid, just in case their fiat currency turns into zero, right? So basically, a lot of these countries would have to sell their gold in order to, use it to buy Bitcoin. So the market capitalization of gold would actually go down, most likely. And yeah, because that's what it would need to happen, really. They would have to sell off assets in order to purchase more Bitcoin. I mean, they can always print more money. That would just lead into more inflation like we already have, right? So if you think about it, the only way they could do is actually sell real assets, which would probably be gold, and then use that to acquire. But then again, I understand why, countries would want to keep gold too. They wouldn't have to sell all of it, probably just, maybe half. And then that would definitely help increase the market cap of Bitcoin. Okay. Because I would say that they should keep some gold in reserve as well. Why not? Gold is a commodity. Gold is something that has been used for many, many years for, for commerce and things like that. So we don't want to totally get rid of it and abandon it. That's not how I think it should go. But yeah, right now, in the time we live in today, Bitcoin is, a better, just like monetary system, just because it can be transferred at the blink of an eye through, basically the web of itself, right? Basically the blockchain. So it can be transferred so quickly. You can you store it digitally, you store it, pretty easy. If you're trying to transfer hundreds and thousands worth of, gold, that would be a whole ordeal to do so, and with Bitcoin, it makes it really easy in the age we live in today. So we got to look at where we're at today as a society. We're about to be in 2025. Okay. So I do understand, how people can say, Bitcoin is better than gold and things like that. I understand it, but I feel like people should own gold as well, because it's, at least 1 ounce or something like that. It's not going to hurt to have an ounce of gold, right? It's, like people were saying that about Bitcoin, own 1 Bitcoin, right? So it wouldn't hurt to own an ounce of gold. Okay. So basically, that is how people are calculating. And that's why I believe Bitcoin will hit $2.2 million, possibly within the next 10 years or so. But a couple of things is going to have to happen for that to occur. But just know that is a possibility. And if you are in a developing nation, right, such as Nigeria, and your currency, which is the Naira, is devaluing at an alarming rate, I would suggest that you buy some Bitcoin.